I now give the floor to the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Council. The Syrian Arab Republic has been deploying all efforts to provide the basic services to the Syrians. It has been working relentlessly to improve their living conditions. It is cooperating with the UN and its humanitarian agencies to provide the assistance to all the Syrians without discrimination. Syria has positively dealt with the important aspect included in Resolution 2585 for the first time, consisting in supporting the early recovery activities, especially that these projects represent a milestone to improve the humanitarian situation in Syria and to reduce dependence on life-saving humanitarian assistance. The efforts that were made before the adoption of Resolution 2642 led to adding the electricity sector as one of the most vital sectors included within the early recovery activities and projects. These efforts made by Syria to improve the humanitarian situation of the Syrians have unfortunately met real challenges and unnamed difficulties, which have hindered achieving any tangible progress in the humanitarian situation until today. The persistence of some Western states in politicizing humanitarian work, the lack of any true will to achieve progress in the humanitarian situation, as reflected in their failure to deliver on their pledges to fund the humanitarian response plan, and their persistence in imposing unilateral coercive measures, illegitimate unilateral coercive measures on the Syrian people, have aggravated the suffering of the Syrians and hindered the achievement of the goals which we had hoped to achieve under the above-mentioned resolutions. President, while the Security Council was examining the extension of Resolution 2642, the Syrian Arab Republic was keen on briefing the Council and providing its assessment to what has been achieved during the past year and a half, mentioning what we would like to add in the text of any new resolution in line with the following. First, we reaffirm that providing electricity and energy for the basic services, implementing renewable energy projects to support the electricity sector, in addition to other vital sectors within the early recovery projects, and especially supporting field work in demining and the removal of exploded remnants, is greatly important to save the lives of civilians. Second, increasing the share of early recovery projects in the frame of the humanitarian response plan and expanding these projects quantitatively and qualitatively. Third, supporting efforts aiming at providing basic services to guarantee the dignified, safe, and voluntary return of the refugees and providing support to those who return inside Syria. Fourth, mentioning the negative repercussions of the unilateral coercive measures on humanitarian work in Syria and on the efforts of the UN and its agencies in this regard. As mentioned in the Secretary General's report submitted under Resolution 2642 and contained in document S/2022/933. Fifth, calling upon donors to live up to their commitments and fund the humanitarian response plan in Syria, as mentioned also in the Secretary General's report. especially that funding that plan did not reach 50% until the end of last year. 6, focusing on enhancing the delivery assistance from inside Syria in order to achieve real progress in this regard, taking into account that assistance delivery from inside Syria is in line with the guidelines of humanitarian work, especially the respect of Syria's sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, my delegation reaffirms that improving the humanitarian situation in Syria requires a continuous development and improvement. Therefore, the technical extension of Resolution 2642 cannot be the adequate track to support this process. Therefore, Syria reaffirms that it will continue assessing the implementation of this resolution through the informal interactive dialogue that will be held by the Security Council to take stock of the progress achieved between now and the end of the mandate on the 10th of July. Syria remains ready to work with the Security Council member states, and especially the two penholders, to guarantee that any resolution adopted in the future by the Council in this regard will answer the aspirations of the Syrians and their humanitarian needs, while fully respecting Syria's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic for their statement.